Title of the word, game changer. You will find that game changers are really conceptual in nature. They are not technical advancements. Okay, if you do a technical advancement, it might benefit some people. But then, if it has to be conceptual, means it furthers on to a lot of things. So I thought of 4 things in my mind which I personally liked. One is the first thing that happened when Harold Kleinet put the primary flexor tendon in no man's land. It was a game changer because new surgical procedure concepts, and if you present good result in the discredited technique, I think it leaves a lot of varied sort of resistance from everybody. So if you have to break the dogma, I think we really require some examples, some inspirational things. When Harold Kleinet presented this in the American Hand Society meeting, and that was titled as a primary repair of flexor tendons in no man's land. And the discussion was Joe Boyce, who was working with Bunnell. He expressed so much skepticism that a special ASSH committee was appointed to go to Louisville and review the results. And Bill Littler led the team, and after he went there, he said, if I were to get a zone 2 flexor tendon injury, I would prefer to go to Louisville. So today, primary flexor tendon repair is a procedure of choice. But then if you really see how this influenced conceptually, it was because of a keen sense of observation, a relentless reflection to find how to make things better. He just, with a basic science point that flexors and extensors are innervated in different zones, like, there's a reciprocal innervation. When you flex, that means the extensors have to relax. When you extend actively, the flexors have to relax. I think it is that point which made Harold Kleinet to do this. The second I would say is introduction of microsurgery to hand surgery. And I asked Bob Ackland what he thought was the defining moment in microsurgery. He said the defining moment was overcoming tremor and understanding the value of the tripod pinch. So it may be very surprising to all of you when they started doing microsurgery, they were trying to make needle holders thinner and thinner, smaller and smaller. But then the tremor, they were not able to conquer 1 millimeter artery anastomosis. They were not able to do that. And the road to discovery was long. This is Bob Ackland in his younger days, and he was using they even tried a foot pedal. I think they tried for 1 year, trying to use foot control to reduce tremor. And again, it was not happening.
My colleagues told me that what I was trying to do was impossible. Don't ever be put off by someone who tells you that what you're trying to do is impossible. Now, those words have a simple meaning. What they actually mean is, I can't be bothered to identify the obstacles to success.
This is Bob Ackland's words when he spoke the Sushruta lecture in Coimbatore. And I think once he did that, and he said, and that helped him to devise a different type of instruments. Otherwise, they are trying to go smaller and smaller. So now they use the other set of instruments. Everything came into being. The third thing which I would say is very important is the concept of radical debridement and emergency free flap. I think primary cover. I think that was a great advance that it led to dramatic improvement in outcomes. I could think of Marco Godina, Graham Lister, and Louis Shecker in Louisville, and that's the thesis what the Graham Lister's put it up what the Marco Godina's thoughts after he tragically expired in a road traffic accident. So it was a great shift in focus because they essentially changed the concept of debridement from removing what is non-viable to leaving only what you're sure is viable. So there is a subtle difference between the two. I think that's what really made a big difference. And they said the internal fixation, primary soft tissue cover are safe in open injuries. I think is really a big game changer. So closer home, I think what we did is also a game changer, and which is really involved so much of good what we do. So when we started, we had a little problem of having people crying out with this, coming up with these things. Due to shortage of personnel, my anesthetists started giving blocks and then opening up the dressings. So this we called as on-arrival block in major trauma. Here you find a fellow who's got a leg injury, he's got a hand injury. We don't really open him up. We give a block and then open up. See, this is the same patient, that's the presenting picture, and he had come with an X-ray. So that's the X-ray with which he was referred from another hospital. But then look at the X-ray now that we get after we give a block, and then traction X-rays could be taken. It's so painful, so painless, it really makes a big difference. The benefits are that patients are immediately relieved of pain, increases the trust in the system. You get better X-rays, and the same anesthesia can be used for surgery. And the arrival to the on-table time is very, very short and coupled with the innovation of logistics, I think we said nobody need to pay on arrival. I think it really makes a major reconstruction routine. I think this again is a great deal. So somebody who comes with a 4-quarter amputation, I think the system makes it, the patient goes back into the OR as early as possible, and then we had replanted. This fellow has not even had a fasciotomy. So that's the result, that these are the things which could be made possible. So if you really see, we found it a little difficult to make the people accept it. So we started off with in the early 90s, and then it really couldn't publish it at all. Every time it was returned back until Don Lord came to our hospital, and then he saw that, and then as the editor of the PRS Global Open, he said, okay, get along. And so that's the reason in the summary, I think the last line he himself wrote, he says, this concept was done during the early 90s by the anesthesiologist Bhatt and Rasthavadi out of necessity, who recognized its value and made it as a standard of care. So whenever you introduce a new technique or a new thing, I think it does take time, but then what it really makes is that you need to persist on. So to summarize, I think I put 4 game changers because only 8 minutes, so I thought I'll spend 2 minutes for each game changer. And the first one, it is because of a keen sense of observation by Harold and the team, the physios, and excellence in documentation. And the next one by Bob Ackland is because he had an obsession, I think, obsessive neurosis, we can tell it, an obsession to push the boundaries. And next was the extending the boundaries of salvage and reducing the cost of care. Because of our primary reconstruction, I think we really reduced the cost of care. And the last one is conceptually changing the idea of improvement in logistics can help you to reach out to the masses. Thank you so much.